West Ham step into a fierce European transfer battle for a crazy talent, a player tipped as Bowen's long-term successor and ready to set the Premier League alight. Golden 4 mid-opportunity slips away as West Ham rethink life without Lucas Paquetá. Welcome back, fellow Hammers. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video if you can. It all helps keep the claret and blue spirit strong. The transfer market is heating up, with West Ham United locked in a direct battle with Celtic for a young talent widely regarded as something special. With the January window now open, both clubs are moving aggressively, scanning the market for opportunities that can strengthen their squads in both the short and long term. Under the guidance of Nuno Espirito Santo, West Ham have already secured 2 new arrivals this month, underlining clear ambition. Even so, behind the scenes there is a strong feeling that the squad still needs at least one top-level winger and an elite centre-back to truly raise its competitive ceiling for the remainder of the campaign. The Portuguese manager has a specific name firmly on his radar, but the situation is far from straightforward. Celtic's interest in the same player has created direct competition, forcing the London club to act decisively if they are to avoid missing out on a target viewed as strategically important. Jarrod Bowen remains a central figure in the sporting project, and there is hope he will stay at the London Stadium for many years to come. However, at 29 years of age, it is natural to consider long-term planning, as his absolute peak will not last forever. Added to this is the suggestion that Bowen could leave if the club were relegated to the Championship. Within that context, it makes perfect sense for West Ham to seek a long-term successor for Bowen while he is still performing at a high level. According to information reported by Colombian journalist Pipe Sierra, West Ham and Celtic are competing to sign Yasser Asprilla, currently at Girona. At just 22, Asprilla is already attracting heavyweight comparisons. Former Watford sporting director Gianluca Nani likened him to Jude Bellingham, highlighting his intelligent reading of the game and exceptional first touch, even while acknowledging that the two differ physically. Described as a crazy talent by Football Talent Factory, the Colombian's reputation continues to grow. After a spell at Watford, he joined Girona in the summer of 2024 and has remained on an upward trajectory in European football. Across 176 career appearances, Asprilla has recorded 17 goals and 15 assists, figures that do not fully capture his influence on the pitch. Naturally right-footed, he prefers operating from the right flank, but is equally comfortable on the left or centrally as a number 10. Blessed with refined technique and impressive pace, the Colombian now needs only to sharpen his end product to become more decisive in the final third. Even so, there is growing expectation that West Ham will beat Celtic to his signature, securing a player many believe could soon explode onto the world stage. Before we carry on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This is really important because it strengthens the claret and blue family, making our West Ham bigger and stronger every day. One of the least explained aspects of the Lucas Paquetá saga is how West Ham United plan to fill the creative gap in their front line once the Brazilian completes his anticipated return to Flamengo. At the same time, there is an equally valid question being asked inside the club: whether a direct replacement is actually required at all. West Ham have coped surprisingly well without Paquetá, recording back-to-back victories against a second-tier Queen's Park Rangers side and what many consider the weakest Tottenham team in living memory. Those results have helped ease concerns about life without their Brazilian playmaker. Many expected Matheus Fernandes to be pushed further forward into the number 10 role during Paquetá's absence. Instead, he started, and impressed, alongside Thomas Soucek, while Pablo Felipe was deployed higher up the pitch, operating just behind Tati Castellanos in Saturday's derby. Although the £18 million signing from Gil Vicente does not possess Paqueta's scalpel-like creativity, he has brought qualities often lacking in this West Ham side: physical presence, selflessness, and relentless intensity. Pablo also played an important role in the move that led to Crescencio Somerville's opening goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. As 2 potential Paquetá replacements slipped away, the prospect of moving forward without the Brazilian began to look less daunting. Marseille are set to complete swift deals for Ethan Nwaneri from Arsenal and Quinton Timber from Feyenoord, removing both from West Ham's potential options. According to Fabrizio Romano, Nwaneri and Timber are both due to arrive in Marseille imminently. Arsenal view a loan move as the best solution for Nwaneri, while Timber will join for a fee of around €4.5 million, plus add-ons that are considered difficult to trigger. Romano did not disclose the identities of the three other clubs Timber turned down. However, it is not impossible that West Ham were among them, particularly given Feyenoord's willingness to accept such a modest fee. While not a traditional number 10, Timber's dynamic ball-carrying, box-to-box energy, and occasional bursts into the penalty area could have suited the physical, end-to-end nature of the Premier League. Ethan Nwaneri also felt like a genuine opportunity for the Hammers, especially due to his lack of regular minutes at Arsenal. Reports indicate that West Ham made an inquiry, but once Roberto De Zerbi entered the picture and Nwaneri was left out of the matchday squad for a fourth consecutive game, Mikel Arteta softened his stance. There remains one other exciting, affordable, and attainable attacking midfielder who could yet become one of the stories of the window. Dro Fernandes can leave Barcelona for just £5 million due to a clause in his contract, with the Spain under-19 international having decided to move on. Months after interest first emerged, West Ham may still have a chance to sign a player likened to Andres Iniesta, who already boasts a Champions League assist at just 18 years of age. As with Nwaneri, however, the Hammers risk being outmuscled by a more established European force. Failing that, the emergence of Mateus Fernandes, Pablo Felipe, and a rejuvenated Crescencio Somerville may prompt Nuno Espirito Santo to question whether funds truly need to be spent on replacing Packéta, particularly when defensive reinforcements at center-back remain a pressing priority. Regarding the negotiations themselves, Brazilian reporter Rodrigo Matos explains that West Ham and Flamengo remain a few million apart in their respective valuations of the player. West Ham, who had previously insisted Packéta was not for sale, have now shifted position and are open to discussions. Packéta has made his stance clear to the West Ham board. His desire is to return to Flamengo as soon as possible. Before we carry on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This is really important because it strengthens the Claret and Blue family, making our West Ham bigger and stronger every day. When the two recent developments surrounding West Ham United are viewed together, it becomes clear that the club are living through a quiet but profound period of transition. On one side, the pursuit of young talents capable of shaping the future, such as Yasser Asprilla, reflects ambition and medium-term planning. On the other, the impending departure of Lucas Packéta exposes a technical and emotional shift within the squad, forcing the club to rethink not just personnel, but identity. The potential farewell of Packéta represents far more than the loss of a creative footballer. It symbolizes the end of a cycle in which West Ham leaned heavily on technical flair to dictate the tempo of matches. His recent absence has shown that the team can survive without him, but it has also revealed an alternative path: greater intensity, increased physicality, and more vertical football. The performances of Mateus Fernandes, Pablo Felipe, and Crescencio Somerville point towards a side less dependent on a single playmaker and more collective in its execution. In this context, the pursuit of Asprilla takes on even greater significance. It is not merely about replacing Jared Bowen in the future, but about anticipating an attacking rebuild based on versatility, pace, and spontaneity. Asprilla embodies the modern profile demanded by English football, a player who can operate wide, drift inside, and accelerate the game when required. He would not arrive to be Bowen tomorrow, but to grow while Bowen continues to deliver leadership and goals. At the same time, the opportunities that slipped away, such as Ethan Nwaneri and Quinton Timber, underline a harsh market reality. West Ham are no longer outsiders, but they are still competing with clubs that can offer more immediately seductive sporting contexts. That demands sharper decision-making and institutional conviction, something increasingly reflected in the club's refusal to enter bidding wars that could divert resources from priority areas. This is precisely where the two narratives intersect. Packéta's departure would free up funds, but it also raises a fundamental question. Should that money be spent on replacing creativity, or invested where the team suffers most structurally? Recent performances without the Brazilian suggest the squad can absorb his loss through internal solutions and tactical tweaks, while the defense continues to cry out for reinforcements capable of sustaining the side in high-pressure matches. The interest in young, affordable profiles such as Dro Fernandes reinforces this strategic reading. West Ham appear increasingly willing to invest in potential and development rather than in expensive, immediate replacements. That approach aligns with the idea of building a more balanced squad, less reliant on isolated stars, and better equipped to handle the natural fluctuations of a long season. Ultimately, the club are entering a phase of maturity. The possible exit of a technical talisman like Packéta hurts emotionally, but it also liberates West Ham to redefine their priorities. The chase for talents like Asprilla shows a forward-looking vision, while the calm response to missed opportunities suggests a board more aware of what truly needs to be done. Where West Ham once appeared to react to the market, they are now beginning to set their own course. And it is within this blend of patience, ambition, and identity that the club may find not only replacements for key names, but a stronger, more resilient version of themselves. We'll wrap it up here for now. If you liked the content, give it a thumbs up, share it around, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. See you soon.